was a poll of 500 people conducted at George Regents University, and they wanted to see if people were more likely to save a foreigner or if they were more likely to save a dog if there was a bus rushing toward it. And what's incredible is, as this study was taking place, respondents wanted to know exactly what kind of person would they be saving. When they were notified that it was a foreigner, the results of the study were insane. 40% said that they would save the animal over a foreign tourist.
Now, it's so sad. Oh my God, our society is so mental. Okay, mental over two things. One, how much we dislike foreigners. Like, oh, it's an immigrant. Oh my God, they got cantaloupe calves. Oh no, they're gonna blow us up. What's happening? Oh, they're gonna bring Sharia law. Save the dog, right? Secondly, we're mental about dogs. I know, I don't have a dog. I know, but like, oh no, the dog is precious.
Okay,
the dog is innocent, whereas all humans are guilty.
So let me jump in for a second. I'm a dog owner, I'm a dog lover, I'm obsessed with dogs. Check out my Instagram. I would say like 90% of my pictures are of dog pictures.
Well, agree to disagree, 50% are selfies. Anyway.
Anyways, I actually took a picture today with a dog, so a little bit of both, a little mixy mix.
Okay.
But I will say this, people generally view dogs as vulnerable, helpless, lovable creatures. Whereas, I mean, think about the leadership in our country and think about politicians in our country that are constantly saying really hideous things about foreigners, right? Whenever we have the immigrant discussion, whenever we talk about immigration reform, you have two sides of the story, and one side is usually very, very hateful toward immigrants, undocumented immigrants specifically. So when you hear stuff like that over and over again, you hear these people be demonized, then does it surprise me that 40% of people would rather save an animal which they view as vulnerable and helpless as opposed to the foreigner? It doesn't surprise me at all. Not saying that I would vote that way. I'm just saying I could understand the psychology behind it.
So think about all the different stereotyping we do in this country, and it happens in all the countries, it's just different stereotypes depending on where you live. So in America, it just lists through all the different foreign tourists who might be here in the framing of that question. The Russians, the commies, they're out to get us, they're our rivals. The Saudis, you know how they are, the Muslims and the bombs, etc. The Mexicans, we don't even have to talk about the Mexicans.
They're to steal our jobs.
Exactly.
They lead to crime in the country.
They're bringing all this disease, etc. All right, let's go to the French. Oh, yeah, those arrogant asses. We're not going to save them. I'm going to slave Fluffy instead.
So,
I mean, you go down the list. Is there anyone we like?
So I should note that while they were surveying these respondents, they did not specify where the foreigners came from.
Yeah.
So it's not like, it was specifically Islamophobia or xenophobia that led to these types of answers. But I am curious to see, what would happen if it was a French foreigner as opposed to a Muslim foreigner.
Well, they should do that study next. Because, look, to be fair to the respondents, they also asked them, would you save a family member or a friend? They're like, all right, I guess the family member over the dog. Like, even the grandparents, okay, I'll go with the grandparent over the dog. Oh, it's somebody I don't know, it's a foreigner?
It's all
Fluffy.
But it's all about fear too, Cenk, because what I found really interesting about this study was that 46% of women would rather save the dog as opposed to the foreigner.
Yeah, you would think men would be, I don't know, more vicious, whatever, but men saved the human beings more than the women did. So that doesn't speak well of the female race. It's a slight difference, female gender, I should say. Finally, human beings are fascinating. At the end of the article, they mentioned something that the Nazis did that I did not know. Turns out the Nazis, after they would send people to concentration camps to murder them, they would then treat their pets incredibly humanely. They would make sure their pets were well taken care of. You just murdered the family, including the kids. That you didn't mind, but they're like, oh my God, what happens to Rover? We got to make sure. Okay? So human beings are messed up in that sense. And the main reason is, whoever you're killing or targeting or you're doing your specific kind of xenophobia towards, well, they had it coming. They were the enemy. They were the bad guys. But a dog is always innocent.
That's the mentality.